Battle for bronze medal hotting up here. Could be any one of four. So this Saturday finds us in the beautiful Somerset seaside town of Minehead.
Yes, this is our second visit to Minehead. I think the first time we came here was in 2016.
And that was for event number 1. So a visit 8 years later and it's as lovely as ever. So we've got a couple of little running goals in mind. We're in the middle of very heavy training and we had an 8-hour drive down from Yorkshire yesterday. But we looked at your PB from that first event and it was 22:36.
That's right, yes.
So we're going to see if age has not dimmed them, as it says in the famous First World War poem. Age has not wearied them and the years condemned them. There we go, we'll see.
So I'm going to try to beat it.
So it's a 2.5 lap course. It goes out in that direction towards Butlins, back here out towards the harbour along the cove there, and then back and then out there, back, out, back, and you keep running for 5k until you reach the finish line basically.
Although the wind is actually quite mild this morning, isn't it? So we've got quite good conditions, because normally on the seafront you do get quite a stiff breeze, but I think today is favourable.
And I'm going to be running with the Insta 360 on my head, so I'll get the full course, I'll speed up bits and then slow it down to talk about some interesting facts about Minehead Parkrun and indeed the town of Minehead itself, so you're in for a treat.
Oh, watch out for that, guys.
Change of plan, not running around with the Insta because it seems to be malfunctioned this morning, so I'll be running around with this GoPro. So in the words of West Country cricket fans of the 1970s and 80s who like following Ian Botham, Viv Richards and Joel Garner, Somerset, la la la. So you congregate for the Minehead Parkrun at this lovely Jubilee clock here. As it's holiday season, they had people coming from all round the country to take part in Minehead Parkrun number 334. So the first part of the course, which actually goes out towards the quayside, now it's a little bit different course to when we first did it, can get a little bit congested, so if you're wanting to run a particularly fast time, I suggest you get into pace fairly quickly. You can see runners passing each other here, 3 abreast along quite a narrow part. So as you know, when we go all around the country visiting parkruns, we like to bring some information about the different towns and cities we visit. So Minehead is the headquarters of the West Somerset Railway. That's 20 miles of heritage railway line that runs from Minehead all the way down to Bishop's Lydiard. Well worth taking a trip if you're in the area. Minehead is also an old medieval quay which goes back to the 1100s and has a big sailing history, and you can see some display boards here and lovely old sailors' cottages as we did our warm-up earlier. There's lots of street art in Minehead made from recycled material, and if you go into the town there's lots of lovely architecture from different periods. It's also, as we'll see in a minute, the start point of the 621 mile long Southwest Coast Path.
So at the start of the run, I knew I wasn't going to be out for my fastest time ever in a park run because my legs felt a little bit heavy from the session we'd done on the Thursday and from the long journey we'd had the day before. But I was ready to give it as good a go as I could.
So first part of the run, we head out towards the quay. After a little bit of congestion early doors, you can see it soon thins out and you can get into your stride and run pretty freely. So I said the Southwest Coast Path starts in Minehead, and here it is. And you can say if you do Minehead Parkrun, I ran along part of the Southwest Coast Path. In fact, you can say you ran along about 10 metres of the Southwest Coast Path, and then we turn around and do a little triangle. You can see the runners coming up on the left as you go down this pavement back towards the start area.
Yes, this is a section that we end up having to do 3 times.
So after a short distance you rejoin the main path. We will see us doing that in a couple of yards here, and you need to take care on this section. You can see it's still quite congested with runners coming up, quite a narrow path in places, so you need to take care here not to have any accidents bumping into runners, or as you can see there, somebody walking the dog along during the park run.
Yes folks, we must remember that parkrun is just not for the parkrunners and it's open for the public, so we have to be aware that we have to make way for them.
So you run past the start finish area and all the marshals, and then we head out along the Minehead seafront. You can see some of the amusement arcades behind the park runners there, and this is a nice bit of the course. Again, you get to see some of the park runners going up and coming down. and then Dawn comes past me as we head towards the far end turnaround point. Lovely Marshall there, who is a fan of the channel, so hello and thank you for coming to say hello to us. And then we head back down the seafront towards again the start finish area.
So the first mile flashed on my watch at 7:14, which would have had me just inside a course PB. Yes, and then we head out again along the southwest coast path. At this point, I'm aware I've got company on my shoulder, and you can see just here, this lady, I think we ran together for the whole of the rest of the course.
They did indeed, folks, and from where I was standing, there were 4 or 5 ladies, all within very close proximity to each other, as we can see here, and from my own point of view, it was very interesting to see who was going to kick on at what point, who would have a big kick at the end, who would fade, who would surge on. So we can see one lady just in front of us here, Dawn and the lady in the orange top just behind, another lady there in pink. So it's shaping up to be a good little competition, and I think they're all chasing 3rd place in this particular parkrun in the female categories.
Back off a bronze medal hotting up here. Could be any one of 4.
In fact, there was actually 5 of us in contention for place number 3, the 4 of us here, and there was 1 in front of John. Yeah, so after doing miles 2 and 3 in 7:11, I then realised I had to really up my game if I wanted to push ahead of the ladies who were running with me. You can see here I'm really working hard, I'm at max, and as I push on I'm feeling quite strong, and I think I've always got a sprint finish. I can see the lady in front of me and I'm trying to catch her, but unfortunately she too has a good sprint and she decides to go for it. I put on a sprint trying to catch her, I can't catch her, but I do have a good finish and I finish at 6:09 pace.
I have to wait for the official results, but I made that a course PB.
I got 22:29 actually.
You did well, that was a really good run.
Thank you.
So an official time of 22:30 for Dawn, which would be a 6-second course PB. Had to work for all of that. Good sprint finish at the end.
It's tough that actually. You think it's going to be faster than it actually is.
I think from memory, when I checked this morning, it's the 258th fastest course in the country. I'll check and put the actual number on the screen. It's one ahead of Clumber Park, one of our regulars. It's a very different type of course, 2 laps trails. This is up and down a seafront.
It was nice to see when the results came through that I actually had the highest age grade of the day at 85.16.
And it was joy unconfined in the 2 Running Brooms household when I found out I was top on the most parkruns run list. I'm a bit confused about why parkrun still does this as a sortable exercise. I mean, it's nice to see I've done more parkruns than anybody else there, but it really doesn't tell us anything. And given the fact they cut a load of stats earlier in the year because they didn't want to put people off, I don't see what purpose this particular stat serves. But hey ho, I'll take it. I'll take anything at the minute. So what do you think about this most parkrun stat? Should they stay or should they go, as Joe Strummer once asked?
So we hope you enjoyed joining us for our visit to beautiful Minehead. We hope you found the video educational, informative and entertaining, thus hitting the brief set by Lord Reith for the founding of the BBC. Never mind. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you'd like to see our further parkrun adventures, and we're going all over this summer, aren't we? All over the country
indeed,
to
yes.
hopefully some new parkruns to us as well, then please subscribe to the channel. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.